What up, Sauce Drops? Today I want to take the time and talk about Fallout, the TV series off of Prime. Honestly, this was a super awesome show. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't know why. You really should. It's really good. But I want to go over some of my thoughts and some of the things I learned throughout the show and some of the takes that I got from it that I've been hearing some different opinions on here recently when I've been watching some of these videos on YouTube. Anyways, let's jump into it.
Keep it saucy, that's the plan. Sauce makes saucy, the goofy man with a vibe that's out of sight, bringing laughter day and night.
So if you haven't seen the new Fallout series on Amazon Prime, it is a super awesome series that follows our main character Lucy. We also have the Ghoul and we have Max. Those are the three main characters in the Fallout series. Really awesome writing. The effects are great. And honestly, I think it's probably the best video game adaptation that we've seen to date through any media, be movie, TV, anything. I think it's probably one of the best. Now, I've seen a lot of people have some negative opinions about it, and I've also seen a lot of positive opinions, which that's completely fine. People can always have their opinions on something. For me, I think it's a mostly positive experience. I would probably rate this show a 9.5 out of 10. I do think there are some things they could have done a little better. I think Max was kind of a weaker character. If you guys don't know Max's storyline, he was part of the Brotherhood of Steel, and I feel like they could have done a little bit more with him. That would have been kind of cool. Now, the things that I noticed that I've been hearing other accounts of, there's a consensus for some reason that Vault-Tec dropped the bomb that started the war, which I understand how people could think that. They're thinking that because obviously Vault-Tec in their meetings said that the war was going to start one way or another, even if they had to be the ones to drop the bomb. So I think there were plans in place for them to do so, but I don't believe the one that we saw fall in the opening scene was from Vault-Tec. And the reason I believe this is because the Ghoul and his daughter were out at a birthday party very few miles away from where the bombs dropped. And I don't think that his ex-wife at that time would have let that happen if she knew the bombs were going to drop there. So I honestly think that it was another entity that dropped that bomb to start the war. A lot of people also talk about the NCR and its representation in the show. Which the representation of the NCR, if you guys have seen it, they come off like raiders and it's kind of a broken group. Whereas in like the video games that we've seen and in the lore, it's more organized, where they have a structure, they have a chain of command, they have sharecroppers, they have everything, and it's all set up and it's a system. But I don't think people understand the reasoning that it's the way it is in the show, which they talk about it a little bit, but this is after the NCR was nearly wiped out. And they're rebuilding the NCR at this point. So they're on their last leg when we see them. So that's why they look like a raider party and everything looks much worse. Because of what happened at Sandy Shore. A nuke was dropped on them. If a nuke was dropped on you, you probably wouldn't hold the same structure that you had before. Just my opinion. So that's kind of why I'm seeing the NCR on their last leg there. And I'm not sure if that's the only thing we're going to see of the NCR or if there's going to be more from it in Season 2. I'd love to see more from them, but honestly, I could see that being the end because obviously that was their headquarters at that point. Now, Does that mean there wasn't another section of them somewhere else that were fractured off? Who knows? It's writing. You can do pretty much anything in writing, and it makes sense if you make it make sense. So we'll kind of see where that goes. Now, the representation of the Enclave was kind of interesting. You didn't really get to see a whole lot of them. Obviously, the Enclave is pretty much the remnants of the US government. And the only thing you really see from them is we see dog meat and we see the scientists escaping from their facilities at the beginning. So we don't really know a whole lot about what's going on with that. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that in Season 2. Now, the part that I'm most excited about as a Fallout New Vegas fan was the ending. Whenever they panned to New Vegas and you got to see the city skyline, it's super iconic, but we didn't see any lights on. So I'm wondering what's waiting for us inside of the city. Will we find House? Is he still alive? Which ending was canon in Fallout New Vegas? Was the Yes Man ending the one that went with it? Was it House's ending? Or did we make something else happen? Was the Courier even part of it? I'm really interested to see how they're going to tie that lore in to the next season. All in all, I think this was a great series. Like I said, I would definitely give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think it is one of the better series to come out in a long time. And all in all, I think that Amazon did an amazing job with this. And I think the reason it was so successful is because they were working hand in hand with Bethesda making this. So it was always in tune with the beliefs and the lore and the Easter eggs they threw in there and everything. It made it a nearly perfect show. And to be honest, it sparked so many fans of the series. It's so impressive to see a game as old as these games are becoming some of the most played games because of a TV show. That goes to tell you how awesome of a show it was, or how awesome of a show this is. And these games, phenomenal. You guys already know I love Fallout. And I have to admit, after watching the Fallout series, it made me want to play Fallout. I hadn't touched these games in a while. I played Fallout New Vegas every once in a while, but it made me want to play the other Fallout games. So, at the end of the day, I think this was a super, super awesome series, and I would highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. Some of the things I'm hoping they expand on a little more in Season 2, one being the Ghoul's story. I want to know what's happened to the Ghoul between the time that the bombs dropped and we saw him coming out of the pit in the first episode. How did he get there? Who's keeping him in there? What happened? Why is he there? What was his whole process of becoming a ghoul? I think that's honestly the best character in the entire series is Walter Goggins. He's such a super, super awesome actor. Doing a fantastic job playing the ghoul, and the makeup on point. It was phenomenal. And he's a hunk as the ghoul, let's be honest. Honestly, it's one of the coolest. I love it. I love this show. Now, I obviously want to see more about his story, and I'm also really interested to see what happens back in Vault 33, back in Lucy's home vault with her brother. Her brother's storyline honestly became one of the most important ones to me, trying to see what was going on there with everything being hidden, the Raiders having wiped out the other side, or so we thought, only to find out that it wasn't even the Raiders that did it. They came in and they saw that it was already done. So it's an interesting thought for sure. I definitely think it was a well executed teaser that they had for us, to where they had like your mind thinking one thing and then it immediately changed to something else. I'm also curious to see where the ghoul's ex-wife is. Is she inside the vault? Is she one of those frozen people in there? Did she make it through? Did she die? I don't know. And I'm really excited to find out. I'm also excited to see what they do with some of the other factions. Because as we know, factions are some of the most important things inside of Fallout. One of the factions I'm really, really hoping that we get to see is the Boomers. Because if anyone survived around New Vegas, it has to be the Boomers. So I'm hoping that we see them in Season 2, since it's going to be set near New Vegas. I really hope that they're able to keep this momentum for Season 2, and the writing is just as great. I know the acting is going to be on par, because the actors that they got in there are fantastic. Like, they really did a great job portraying these characters and giving life to this franchise. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different than my normal content where I kind of play the video game or I talk about video games, but I thought the Fallout TV series was close enough and relevant to what we talk about, at least on the channel. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like on this video. And if you guys have a difference of opinion with me, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. And don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way you guys are notified next time we have a video go out. Again, thank you guys so much for being here, and until next time, keep it saucy.